Good day, first world travellers, and welcome back. Yes, it's time for another things to do video. This time I'm going to show you some things to do in Shanghai. So right on cue, it started raining just as I arrived at point number 1, and I've got an ant crawling down my face. This is the People's Park. It's very pretty. You've got things like an art gallery, a kids area, a fitness centre. Fantastic. Let's go and have a look around. Point number 2, so for all you shopaholics out there, come to Nanjing Road and say, oh hello, lovely, and say hello to George Clooney. So this is Shanghai's premier shopping district. I really like it, I love it. It really reminds me of Kensington High Street in London. Pretty much by all the tour buses, the big double-decker buses, the hotels and the architecture. Lovely, let's go and have a look around. So the things I like about this area, particularly all the signs. You know I love signs, all the colourful big signs. Epic, wonderful. Just something to watch out for though. If you've been to Hong Kong, you know what I'm talking about. One thing you do get here is locals trying to sell you watches. Watches, and they do speak English. You want a watch? Don't know what accent that was. So yeah, that's just something to watch out for. Other than that, your usual shops. You can get around to one of them train things. Brilliant. It's time to go on to point number 3. Right, points 3, 4 and 5 are located in this area. I am at quite possibly one of the most stunning areas I have seen, rivaling Hong Kong. So behind me is the Bund. This is a famous waterfront road and a walk also along the waterfront that is famous for the colonial architecture. So a bit of history for a moment. So back in the day, in the 1800s, Shanghai was split up into 4 areas, or otherwise known as concessions, and they were run by the French, British, Americans and Japanese. That's where all this architecture comes from. And when communism came in after the Second World War, there was a lot of effort to get rid of all these buildings. However, thankfully that hasn't happened. Fantastic, it's absolutely stunning. I love architecture, so if you're a big fan of colonial architecture and history, this is the place to come. So if you want to know why I love travelling so much, this sums it up to a T. I love skyline views. Like I said, it's very similar to the one in Hong Kong. So behind me are 2 very famous buildings in Shanghai. That one is the Oriental Pearl Tower. It was constructed in 1994 and it's a radio and TV tower. And just look at the colours on it, lovely pink, beautiful. And over there is the Shanghai Tower, which is much more recent. That was built in 2015. Many people will say that's the tallest building in the world. If you're talking about the highest usable space, it is. However, obviously the tallest building in the world is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. But never mind all that, just look at that view. It is stunning. If you're questioning whether or not to come travelling, or even just to come to China for a couple of weeks, this makes your decision. Point number 6 is Hengshan Road. So I mentioned a little bit earlier about the fact that Shanghai was split up into 4 concessions. This is the French Quarter. So to be honest with you, when you arrive in this area, you don't really see much of a difference with the rest of Shanghai. You have to walk down the road a little bit to really see the effect. So as you can see here, you've got tree-lined streets, you've got bakeries, you've got bars, you've got restaurants, and as you walk a bit further down this road, you do see a bit of that French influence. Also, have a look at the buildings in the area. They are remarkably different from the rest of Shanghai, with like the metal balconies outside the front. I haven't really been to France. I've been to Nice and Monaco, but it does ring a few bells. So it's a nice place to come. That bakery looks gorgeous. All the cakes in there, absolutely stunning. That's exactly the sort of thing you hope to find when you come to a French influenced area. Behind me is an example of one of the restaurants you can eat at. I know it's slightly westernized, pizza and spaghetti, however you can get Japanese ice cream. You know, the green matcha ice cream that's, I believe, made out of rice. But yeah, that's one place you can eat. And there's a line of bars down there, Stella, Kronenberg, fantastic. And just to make me miss Japan even more, there's a Lawson behind me. That's the first one I've seen in Shanghai. By the way, the convenience stores are not up to the standards of Japan. I mentioned this in my basics video, yeah, but it's great to see a Lawson. I feel at home. And lastly, behind me is a spa. So this definitely looks very French, with the reds overhanging, whatever they're called, over the top of the windows and doors. So yeah, come to the French Quarter, Hengshan Road in Shanghai. I'm now at my final point in Shanghai, point number 7. This is Shouning Road. Now, I feel a bit odd because I'm literally the only Westerner down here right now, but this area gives you an idea of just how diverse Shanghai is. So this area reminds me very much of a cross between Bangkok and Siem Reap in Cambodia. The streets are lined with fish restaurants and street food. You've got motorbikes, scooters and bikes going by. You have to try not to get killed and run over. You've got things like baby lobsters, at least that's what I think they are, and numerous crustaceans, massive prawns. And you have something which I'm actually going to eat. Yes, I'm going to eat something in China. It's something that I actually like. Shock horror, the world collapses. Let's go and have something. So I'm going to have a scallop in its shell. So it's a bit odd because obviously there's a language barrier. They'll try to get you in the restaurant for a beer and a proper meal. I don't want to do that. So I think the ones on here that I'm showing you now are just the show display, and they're shouting at someone over the street to, I think, prepare the scallop. And I can see a woman doing it on the floor right now. Oh Christ. Scorpions, octopus, snake blood I've eaten during this trip. Scallop off the floor. Nothing, mate. So basically what I gathered is that they cook it on the street over the road on like a grill thing. Unfortunately I couldn't show you that because it was behind the shop. So I'm actually looking forward to this. There we go. It looks quite interesting. I'm going to break it up a little bit because I don't like the orange bit. Okay, I've done that. Looks very interesting. Let's go. Sheena from Chasing a Plate, I just did your dance. That was stunning. Got a nice flavour to it as well. It's not too tough, not too rubbery. That's the problem I find with scallops sometimes, is they're overcooked, but that was perfect. Wonderful. Chinese street food, top notch. So that's my time done in Shanghai. I've absolutely loved it. Shanghai is a brilliant city. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have found this video useful in terms of finding some things to do in Shanghai. Obviously I've only been here for a couple of days, so if you've been in Shanghai for longer, write in the comments below to help out the other viewers find some other things to do. And while you're at it, why don't you check out my other Shanghai videos, that's Shanghai Basics, and also the video about the China free transit visa. Fantastic. Next up on my channel are videos from Kyrgyzstan. Yes, Kyrgyzstan, somewhere that not many people go to. Well, I am. So if you want to see those videos, make sure you do the like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe as well, because there's loads more to come. I'll catch you later. Start again. Alright. Oh, the sun's coming out. Fuck's sake, the sun. Shitting hell. Better. So the things, oh, there we go. And just to point out just how diverse Shanghai is. Oh, fuck. Some things to do in Shanghai. Hello. That's okay. I've already eaten.
Have you too?
No, I'm okay. I've eaten. I'm good.